What if I told you there was a secret city hidden high in the mountains where people worship the sun? A place that feels so amazing, it feels like you're in a movie about lost civilization. That is Machu Picchu. And guess what? You don't have to be Indiana Jones in order to get there. Forget fancy trains and expensive tours. Machu Picchu is just as affordable as any other destination out there. So let's dive into our experience here and tell you how we traveled Machu Picchu for less than $1,000. First, you will fly to the capital city of Lima. Lima is a beautiful city in Peru. With Lima being your hub, you can go to so many of the places around Peru and connect very easily. But before you go and travel to these other places, you should really spend a few days in Lima to explore the history and the culture the city has to offer. We would recommend to visit Lima for up to 5 days, as there are many things to do in this city. Coming here to Lima, Peru, there's a few different areas that you can stay that are well-known areas for people who come to visit, and one of them here is the Barranco, the area we're in right now, and where we're currently staying, and the other one is Miraflores, and these are two beautiful areas. This one has a lot of history here, and we're gonna show you around what this area looks like. Taking an Uber anywhere is only gonna cost you $2 to $3. Going to a nice restaurant for 2 people will only be around $20. And if you wanna try something more affordable like street food, it's gonna be even less than that. Now, in order to get from Lima to Machu Picchu, there are a few ways you can do this. The first one, and the fastest one you can do, is obviously by plane. It's only gonna take you a few hours, and you're gonna land directly at the town of Cusco, which is pretty close to the town of Machu Picchu. The second option you have is you can do a private tour. You can book these private tours in advance, and they're gonna take you all the way to Machu Picchu by usually a bus or a car. The other option is you can rent your own car and you can drive to Machu Picchu from Lima, but that is gonna be around a 25-hour drive, so it is quite a long way to get there. The way that we did it is we flew into Lima first, stayed there for a few nights, then we flew from Lima to Cusco. Now, Cusco is a very beautiful and interesting town. There's a lot of arts, a lot of culture there, and there's a lot of things to see. Everyone who wants to go to Machu Picchu obviously wants to see the ruins, but when you're in Cusco, there are a lot of other ruins in that area that are definitely worth seeing. The ruins here are very beautiful. Look behind me here of all of these ones. It's definitely a lot smaller than the one we went to last time, the Sexy Woman one, but it is still very beautiful. You can see a lot of the remains are intact. Another recommendation there is to check out the chocolate factory, where they make all of the chocolate directly there, and you can experience this by actually making your own chocolate. You can do one of these classes for about $20, or you can just enjoy some of the chocolate you can buy there for a few dollars. Another activity you can do from Cusco is to go to the well-known and quite famous Humantay Lake. Humantay Lake is a beautiful glacier lake. To get to this lake, it's gonna take you about 2 hours to hike, and you have to take a private charter or taxi to get here. But once you're here, it's worth it. You can come to this lake and you can hike and see the glacier on the mountain. Very beautiful scenery. It does get busy here even in the early morning. You can also hire a guide for this tour, which is what we ended up doing, where they will take you directly from Cusco to Humantay Lake. Then from there, they're gonna give you lunch as well as oxygen if you need it as well, and give you transportation back as well. Usually I'm not a fan of tours myself, but this tour was very organized, and if you were to do it by yourself, the roads are very risky, as it's like literally on the side of a cliff. Now, getting back to the main point of the video, which is Machu Picchu, there are a few ways to get there from Cusco. The first, what you can do is you can either take a train directly from Cusco, or you can take a bus to another station and then take a train from there. Both of them are gonna be around the same amount of money. It just depends on what kind of experience you want. And there are 2 rail companies that you can choose to take a train to Machu Picchu from Cusco. These company names are Inca Rail and Peru Rail. Peru Rail is one of the oldest trains you can take in Peru, in the original one, and Inca Rail is a newer train where it's a newer company that started a few years ago. Inca Rail tends to be a little bit more higher class, and also you'll see that reflected in the price. But what you can do with Peru Rail is you can choose their Vista Dome option. When you book your ticket online, you're gonna have your own private table. The seats are gonna be more comfortable, and in the top of the car, the train car, there's actually a roof on the top where you can look to the view. You're actually going into the Amazon basin, which is the gateway to the Amazon rainforest. So you're also gonna see change in landscape and species as well. Now, all of these things can be booked online in advance, and I would highly recommend that, as that's something that we found out kind of the hard way, because also Machu Picchu tickets are sold out very far in advance. If you're gonna go to Machu Picchu, you need to consider booking your entry ticket to Machu Picchu about a few months advance, especially in the summer season. And you can find all the links for this information down below with the official ticket booking link for the entry to Machu Picchu, and also you're gonna find the links to two of the train operators that you can choose as well. Now, once you get to Machu Picchu, the town of Machu Picchu, it's actually quite a beautiful, quaint town. There's lots of restaurants to choose from, there's lots of stores to walk around, there's a market, there's also a local hot springs that we didn't go to, but apparently is quite a nice experience. We ended up staying in a hostel in the town, and it's not like a typical hostel. We actually had our private room, so it's more of like a guest villa. Has a nice little bed, not too bad, a little bathroom over here, and the location's 5 minutes walk from the train station. Now, once you head on your adventure from the town of Machu Picchu to the actual physical top place of Machu Picchu, the ruins, there are a few ways to do that as well. The first way is you can actually hike directly up from the town of Machu Picchu to the top. It's gonna take you around 2 to 3 hours for one way. But if you don't wanna hike, you can do what we did, and we actually just took a bus from the bottom to the top, and it was about maybe 10-20 minutes. When you book your Machu Picchu entry ticket, the great thing is you can combine your Machu Picchu entry ticket and the bus ticket and everything together in one package for a discounted price. Welcome to one of the 7th wonders here of the world. This is Machu Picchu. When you get there, there are a few different circuits that you can choose from. Now, a circuit in Machu Picchu is defined as a route, a walking route that you can walk along Machu Picchu. They have strict entry rules, and you have to stick to your trail. For example, the entry ticket that we got us access to another part of Machu Picchu called Huayna Picchu, which is another mountain that is connected to the actual Machu Picchu mountain, and we did have to pay extra for that. But if you didn't book that in advance, you can't just go up and walk on the other part of the mountain because you don't have that entry ticket, and they do check as well. Since Machu Picchu is so big, you can't book a ticket that you're gonna see everything. You have to choose the part that you want to go and see. Now, another thing to note, when you go to Machu Picchu, you actually need to bring your own passport. If you don't bring your passport, they're just not gonna let you into Machu Picchu. So you need to bring your ticket, your printed ticket or your mobile ticket. It worked for us. Then the passport number, the same number that is on your mobile ticket, needs to be the same passport that you bring, because they need to verify that it's actually you entering Machu Picchu, since it is such a respected and famous place. You can't just go there without a passport. Now, after you're going down from the mountain from Machu Picchu, you can take the bus down again from the top, or you can walk down, whatever you would like to do. We ended up staying one night in the town of Machu Picchu, and then we left the day after, as we were quite tired from the hike. Now, another thing to note, when you're in the town of Machu Picchu, the food there is a little bit more expensive than what you would typically see in Lima and Cusco. It's not crazy expensive, but do expect to spend around maybe $40 for 2 people, and that's US dollars if you're gonna go and enjoy like a nice lunch. The quality of the food is not really great, and I would stick to more local food rather than Western food, because the ingredients have to be imported by a train, the same train that you basically take to get there. So by the time the ingredients actually get there, the food is really not that fresh, and there's a lot of people that say they got sick or they didn't enjoy the food. We didn't have a bad experience, but you can definitely tell the quality in the food, so don't expect it to be great unless you go to one of the top restaurants there. Also, when you are in Machu Picchu town, the weather does change quite a lot. It's like a subtropical weather climate, so you're gonna not need as many warm clothes as you would if you're going to, for example, Lima or Cusco. Overall, visiting Machu Picchu is definitely an experience that you should consider adding to your list. Just make sure that you book things in advance, as a lot of these activities and tours and entry tickets can sell out quite fast.